Hello everybody, I haven't made a video for quite a long time, but there's a good reason for it because I've been working on a resin kit, and it is the GGG final Anryu. And here is she in her attack formation. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Chekhov ring or something like that, which basically means she's firing all of her missiles from her missile compartment that's dangling above her. So, still pretty nice. As you can see that I have painted her completely because it's a resin kit, of course. So the all of the blue is done with black Tamiya, and then with the the Tamiya Mika Blue metallic spray. I spray it from a far distance so that not a lot of it actually get onto the kit. But as a result, it leaves her with a relatively dark color, which is what I want. In fact, I would say that she's right now a little bit too dark for my taste, but it's alright. The metallic green is done with Tamiya gold spray paint, and then paint on the clear green Tamiya. Let's see, the visor is a mixture of Tamiya clear, red and yellow. The pink lavender color here you can see those are actually those are sprayed with Tamiya gold on the background first, with originally with the expectation that I can actually paint them on with a clear purple. But as it turns out, that clear purple color is not easy to get. At least in UK, it's quite difficult to get. So I end up just paint it over with white and mix the white with a bit of Citadel Ice Blue and Warlock Purple to create this lavender paint. Airbrush them on and then gloss coat it. I just keep on gloss coating them until they are glossy. Let's see. There's some metallic gray around here. Those are bolt gun metal, so I just hand brush them on. A little bit of metallic orange as well, so that's the same. Silver on the back, and then clear red and clear yellow on top. You can't really see it, but her eye on the inside is actually gunner marker gold, but you can see it because the visor is well covering it. So yeah, that's basically it for the paint. It's quite difficult to see. Let's see if I could show it to you. But yeah, you can see a little bit. The kit here is actually that is actually just Tamiya surface finish white. On top of it is a bit of clear coat and a bit of a matte coat, all for the sake of adding the shading. The shading is just a little bit of Regal blue mixed with white to mix it into a reasonably suitable color, and then I just airbrush them on very gently on the bottom and on the top, just to give it a little bit of shading effect. I did that onto the arm as well, but it's not clear at all. It is hardly visible. Did a little bit of paint on the mouth, just so that you could see it. Otherwise, the whole face is so white you can't see anything. So you might have noticed a little bit of interesting thing about it, and that is joints. This kit is laid all over with this thing. Don't know if you can hear it. That is revolta joints. If I'm careful, that actually is now posable. This is actually sold as a full action kit to begin with, except they don't supply you with any of the joints, so you have to do it yourself. Some of them has, most of the part has joint hole pre-made, so that you can just use them. But because not everyone has exactly the right joint for the kit, in most cases you have to modify it to actually get them to work. And in this case, I did quite a lot of modification onto the leg joint on the inside. Mainly because it was asking for a ball and socket joint from a brand I've never heard of. At the end, I used the Hobby Base series of joint, which is not the right shape, not the right size, and I have to fudge it a little bit. But overall, it seems to work. So as you can see, 90 degrees on the arm, on the elbow, reasonable amount of movement on the shoulder. It can go forward and backward. Has a little bit of wiggle forward and backward as well, thanks to the joint design. The head is on a Revoltech joint, so it can go up and down and left and right. The hair piece on the back is actually on a small ball joint, so not ball joint, swivel joint, so it can go in and out a little bit, not a lot, if you can see it. Yeah, that's about it. All of these are just wires on the inside with those rubber craft shoelaces on the outside. I cut them in segments so that they look like segment of the what is it? The supercharged battery that that Anryu was using in Gaga Final, as well as a guy who used a lot of them. No, guy used 2 strands of it. It was genetic Gaga, which got millions of them at his hair. Double ball joint on the torso, but it works more like a single ball joint. So you can lean forward and backward. As you can have seen just now, the whole backpack is actually a series of joints. And after that, there's also this little joint here, which will lift the whole backpack around, so that if Anryu is leaning backward, this backpack is not going to hit the rest of the body and stop it from flexing back. So yeah, as I mentioned before, ball joint on the inside is quite limited because the skirt is not posable. The skirt is designed to be pinned together, and I did exactly that. It's almost impossible to put joints in them, so I just leave it at that. I deliberately splay them out a little bit, so that it gives me some room to move the leg, so it can spread out this much, and it can go back in. But they can't actually go forward a lot. I mean, it can go forward about this much. The back leg can go backward about this much. That's about it. Yeah. And to finish it off, there is a ball joint for the knee, which gives you about 90-degree bend. Those are not Revoltech joints. Those are Hobby Base spherical shape joint, which adds a bit like the Revoltech joint, but it doesn't have the ratchet on it. It's just so that I have infinite amount of variation instead of enforced 10 degrees or 20 degrees flex at a time. And the same thing goes for the ankle, but as you can see here, the ankle has hardly any room for it to bend, so it can tilt forward and backward a little bit. Overall, what do I think? It's a pretty good kit. It's pretty fun. The problem is she's actually quite fragile. She's quite fragile and quite difficult to build. I would personally not recommend her to any beginner at all, and even more experienced modeler would probably need to look out for it as well. There are some bits and pieces of it that is actually a little bit awkward, a little bit hard to build, especially the leg joint part. That actually break on me a few times already. So yeah, this is basically it. Join me next time for another model review.